Hey everyone, happy Friday, good morning or afternoon, whatever time you're watching this. So if you couldn't already tell, today's video is going to be about the Native American boarding schools. So before we get started, this is going to take a lot of visualization in your mind. Oh yeah, I forgot the introduction. My name is Dewey Bill, and welcome back to my my channel. Welcome back to my vlog. This month's topic is about my culture, and so like I said, this is gonna take a lot of visualization. Did I even say that right? So yeah, it's gonna take a lot of oh shit, I can't even talk. Anyways, it's gonna take a lot of imagination today. So the U.S. government and the church has operated over 100 boarding schools. And the time of the boarding schools was the late 60s to early 70s. There will be several links in the description below about the boarding schools, and there will be a link that someone actually speaks about what they went through at the boarding school. So, whatever race you are, Native American, Japanese, Filipino, Chinese, Asian, Russian, the list goes on, Mexican, African American, as you can tell, there's a lot. So whatever race you are, so let's just... I am so sorry about that. That was my nephew. He wanted a cup of juice. So anyways, whatever race you are, let's say that what happened to the Native Americans happened to your race. And let's say that you are alive at this time, because I know most of us wasn't alive. Unless you were born in the 60s and 70s, and you were definitely alive. If not, then you were born in, like, I don't know, the 1990s, the late 90s, I guess you can say, or the 2000s, you wasn't alive. So, with that, let's get into it. So, what are they called? A BIA officer, a Bureau of Indian Affairs, has showed up at your door and took your 2 children, and they were put onto a train and sent to the boarding school. Either if there was, you were either sent in the state or you were sent to another state. And there was a boarding school, at least 2 or 3 on each reservation, okay? And in 60 boarding schools, that can hold 6,200 Indians, or whatever your race is. That's how much 60 boarding schools can hold. So how about 100 or more? Okay, and you get there, and like your traditional clothing that you used to wear. And so your traditional clothing that you have on, it gets taken off, and you get placed in, if you're a guy, a suit and tie. If you're a lady, you get put in a dress. And so with all that in mind, and whatever language you speak, I speak Itchiskin. That's common around this kind of area. If you're on the Yakama Nation reservation, some natives speak it, some don't. Okay. So Shukmaitski, Enknashwaniksha Tsamat Kusha Patumki Dewey Bill. So what I just said was good morning. My Indian name is Samat, and my white man name is Dewey Bill. So that's my language, okay? and my ancestors had to go through this. So let's just visualize that your ancestors had to go through this. They were given new clothes, white, like a new nice set of clothes from the boarding school. And every time that you spoke your language, it was, you always got beat with a ruler, like a hard wood ruler back in the day, or you were hit with a paddle, and you were hit hard, or sometimes they just slapped you. Okay, so you go through this, and it's emotionally scarring you each time that something traumatic happens in your life. Okay, and if the whoever was the head of the boarding school, if they felt like it, or if any of the sisters, the nuns, or whatever you call them, felt like, or the pastors or reverends, the ministers, bishops, fathers, whatever the hell they are. So if they felt the lust of sex in them, they would rape you. And you couldn't do anything about it. And so that was some of the emotional trauma that you had to go through in life. And you couldn't do a single thing about it. And so the boarding schools was basically to kill the Indian or kill the man. Or kill the Indian, save the man type of thing. And if you're Hispanic and you're watching this, it would be kill the Mexican, save the man. Or if you're a Chinese person watching this, kill the Chinese, but save the man. It's something that the U.S. It's a dark time for the U.S. government, basically. So this happened in 1860s. So some odd years later, and so if this happened in the 1870s, let's visualize now, 2019. If you're Hispanic, whatever your race is, whatever your ethnicity is, you're now, you don't know your language, you don't know your culture, because it was taken away so many years ago. And now, my generation, if you're with me and you're 16 years old and you don't know your language, you don't know your culture, and now you're facing what we have to face. Yes, we got a reservation. Yes, we got language classes and things like that. But it's up to my generation to learn the language and future generations. Because if we don't know our language, we can lose our treaty. We can lose our rights. We're gonna be slaves, basically, living in a modern world. We, as Native Americans, we have to live in two worlds. The white man's world and our cultural world. I don't know about you guys, but that's kind of it. You have to live in a modern society and still be able to learn your ways, so that if you believe in the spirit, our spirit's creator, an all-seeing guide. Just like if Jesus or God or Mary, whoever the hell you believe in. And so what my point I'm trying to get across here is, if this happened to your generation, if this happened now, how would we react? I don't know what that is. I don't know how we will act. Me, I don't know how I will react. We, as Native Americans, we have a right to stand up and be proud. And as long as all this, like with Standing Rock and the Hawaiian tribes over there, and here in the Yakama Nation, we have a right to stand up and be proud of who we are. We do. We don't have to answer to a white man. We don't have to answer to the goddamn president. We don't. Because what we do, we're a sovereign nation. We have that right. And without our language, we wouldn't have that right. So I'm trying my best to learn it. So I still have a right. And let's hope that a couple years from now that we all realize the importance of learning our culture. Okay? Let's just leave it at that. So if you got to the end of this video, please give me a thumbs up if you liked it. If not, give it a dislike. Please, down in the comments, if you know anything, if I missed anything, please feel free to share it. So this is one of next week we'll be talking a little more about my culture. I'm still going through the background bits of it that makes up everything. And let's there will be some pictures at the end, like in the beginning. Also the links will be in the description below. I hope you really like this video because it took me a long time to film. Anyways, without further ado, this is Dewey Bill, and I hope you all like my video. Thank you. Please subscribe and turn on the notification bell.